Suki and Scott show. We are feeling good today.
Multi-Emmy Award-winning co-hosts Sukanya Krishnan and Scott Stanford captivate viewers with their infectious personalities
What you gonna do today?
and unmatched chemistry.
Irish accent.
Suki, this is a Belgian accent. Don't you know your Belgian accent?
I do not.
Suki and Scott are hanging out with celebrities.
That's the best intro for a show I maybe have ever seen.
This is one of the funnest shows I've ever done.
You guys are talented amongst your own selves.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
We'll be right back.
Elite comedians
Suki and Scott and Wayne. Got a big heart, Scott.
and entertainers from all four corners of the world. Suki and Scott share moments that make you think.
I just ate 2 grapefruits, and nothing sexual about what happened here, I gotta tell you.
Uplifting stories that inspire.
No matter how hard life gets or what you go through, you can always make it through.
And they'll make you smile.
I'm Mike Wallace.
Now more than ever, the world needs laughter.
Just slip out the back, Jack.
Suki and Scott are ready.
Okay, this one.
Let's laugh together. The Suki and Scott Show.
We love you.
Yeah, Philly Kid and Scott are ready tonight. How are you, my friend?
Fantastic. Feeling good.
Looking good, Philly. I got to tell you, women around the country, everybody emailing me, instant messaging me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Where the hell's Phil been? Where's Phil? At the end of every show, I'm playing your songs. I got you singing mini Phil concerts. I sit here, I click away, and all they do is pine away. Where's Phil? How come he's not live? Is he okay? Is he sick? Is he getting divorced? Is he finally available? None of that stuff. And finally, you're back in the groove, my friend.
I'm here. And I got to tell you, I'm not getting divorced, regardless of what the scammers will tell.
All right.
Tell people, but I'm not. It's summertime. The summertime family activities. I'm actually getting into doing some law enforcement consulting work.
Look at you.
I'm taking. I'm really stepping up my acting classes, and I'm just really, really busy.
I love it, Philly Kid. Well, listen, we have a huge show tonight. Adrienne Barbeau is here. And listen, if you don't know who Adrienne Barbeau is, then that's a problem with you.
Yes.
Adrienne Barbeau has been in literally over 450 films, TV shows. Most of us know her, or knew her back when as Carol, Maud's daughter, B. Arthur on Maud. Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. And then came Maud. I remember watching that show religiously as a kid, with Welcome Back, Kotter, and it was, those nights were just fantastic. Adrienne's coming on with us in just a second. She has a book. She's also a very accomplished author. She's got a book out now because it's the 50th anniversary, Philly Kid, of it was February 14th of 1972, I believe. So we're at the 50th anniversary of the original Broadway, New York City production of Grease, which I think I actually saw as a kid with Adrienne in it, which is fantastic. I can't believe it's 50 years. Of course, they made the movie in 78 with John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John. But Adrienne Barbeau, one of her first acting gigs was, the original stage production of Grease. And she's got a book out right now called Tell Me More, Tell Me More. And it is actually, it's fantastic stories, behind the scenes about that production and what went on behind the scenes with that production. So she's been in some of my favorite movies, Cannonball Run, which is fantastic. The Swamp Thing, which I loved as a kid. And just, so many more. So many more. Here's the book. So here's the book, Tell Me More, stories from the Broadway phenomenon that started it all, with Tom Moore and Ken Waisman. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm just, you listen, you know me, I love when we have people in. Last week we had Denise Williams on. Let's hear it for the boy, Denise Williams. Johnny Mathis, right? She did do. I love when we have actresses and actors and musicians on from when I was a kid, back in the 70s and 80s, because, that's our wheelhouse, man. Brings me back to the day. It's like the soundtrack of our lives when we were kids, Phil.
It is, and yeah, I want to talk more about that with Adrienne. I want to tell her how much she means to me, and is the memories of my life.
If you were going to be in Greece, Philly kid, who would you be? Would it be Danny Zuko? Would you be the guy? You'd have to be the guy. I mean, a little more hair up top, but you'd be the guy, right?
Yeah. Shoot, I don't know. Actually, if I would want to be behind the scenes as a singer, and I've got a little tribute song for Adrienne that I want to sing to her. And
really,
yeah.
Oh, she's gonna love that, Philly kid. All right, well, listen, everybody's loading in. We'll do the show live, and then we'll send it out to all of our distribution sites. Got the new channel in the Norfolk, Virginia market, the CW that we just started on as well, added to our affiliates list. So here's a little bit of Adrienne Barbeau, and then we'll bring her in on the other side. Take a look. There she is, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to hire your editor. Who put that together?
I put that together, Adrienne. It took me 10 weeks. Yeah,
Oh
of
my
course.
gosh. There were things in there that I don't even remember.
Well, then listen.
There that I'm going to have to study and try and figure out what they were.
You know what? Then you will do very well at the Adrienne Barbeau synopsis quiz that I give you in about 25 minutes to see what movies you remember.
I'm going to be.
Oh, my goodness. Look at you. You're still a sex symbol after all these years. Look at you.
It's awesome. Hey, I got to tell you, listen, I know that your birthday was on June 11th.
Yes.
So, which was just a couple of weeks ago. And, when you come on to the Suki and Scott show, we go all out for our guests.
Here we go,
so,
baby. Here we go.
Since you weren't on the show then, but you are now just a mere 2 weeks later, I would like to say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adrienne. We all really love you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, ma'am.
Thank you.
And Adrienne.
You know what, Phil? I think you should be playing Kaniki.
Yes.
I don't know you.
There you go.
But I get a sense that you'd be a great Kaniki.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
I'll have it 30-inch tail lights and 30-inch fins. Like, by the way, Adrienne, Melba Moore watching the show right now says hello. Our icon. Love Melba Moore.
Thank you. Oh, my gosh. I remember Melba. We were back in New York at the same time.
Yeah. There you go. She says Adrienne looks fabulous. We love Melba Moore. She was on the show a while back, and she's fantastic. But listen, listen, we could do a 2-hour show with all the things you've done and have been in. But the main reason is, let's talk about the book. And then Phil and I want to touch on some of the main things you've done, because, some of my favorite movies you've been in. And especially, Maude, the series, which was phenomenal. I was just looking at some clips from Maude, and so many great things. It was a clip of you dancing on stage for Conrad Bain, I think it was. It's just such great stuff. And B. Arthur, and I don't remember who played her husband, your dad, on the show.
Bill Macy.
Oh my God, so funny.
Straight from Oh Calcutta.
Yeah,
It
it's just,
will.
but listen, it's been 50 years, Adrienne.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us who was in this play with you way back when you guys first started, because this was the one that kicked it all off, led to more shows on Broadway and touring plays. John Travolta was in the touring play, and
Mary
so
Lou
many.
Henner.
Mary Lou Henner, who's a
on your show.
huge friend of the show, Mary Lou.
Patrick Swayze, Richard Gere.
Yeah,
wow.
A lot of people who went. It's one of the things I think that has kept the Grease family a family for 50 years, because we were all at the same spot in our careers. We were all just getting started. Some of us I had done Broadway, and Barry Bostwick had done Broadway, I think, but we were all the same age. We were all just getting started, and we just came together. So of the people that you're seeing on your screen right now, well, there's Barry Bostwick, who your audiences will know not only from Grease, but from Rocky Horror Picture Show,
yes.
and, many, many, many other things. Walter Bobby, who's lying down on the floor there, went on to become an incredibly well-respected, successful Broadway director. He directed the production of Chicago that's been playing longer than Grease, probably. And what the book is a compilation of stories from all of the people who were in the original Broadway production, and then the national company and the bus and truck tours that followed. John Travolta, who started out as Duty in the bus and truck, and then eventually, became Zuko. Treat Williams, Peter Gallagher.
Wow.
We reached out to more than 100 actors who had been involved in the productions and asked them to tell us their memories, because we had a Zoom meeting where the 12 of us, the original cast, started telling stories, and the Zoom meeting went on for 4 hours. And the stories were so delightful and funny and touching and moving, and completely new to me, because I left the show fairly early on, that I got up the next morning and I thought, this would be a book. This could be a book. And so I reached out to everybody that had been at the Zoom meeting, and Tom Moore, who directed the original Broadway show, called me immediately, and he said, "Oh no, I wish you hadn't done that, because I've had this idea for a while now, and it should be this and this and this." And he had a different approach to it. And I said, "That's great, Tom. Write it, He said, no, we have to do it together. We have to do it together." So we brought in Ken Waisman, our producer, who has a steel trap memory, knew dates and times and names and everything that we would never have remembered. Also had access to 250 stills, photographs that nobody had ever seen. And we reached out to all the actors. They sent us their stories, and we put the whole thing together. It starts in Chicago, because Grease did not start on Broadway. Grease was a very raunchy, very blue, I don't know what you'd call it, off Broadway show in a trolley car, a trolley barn in Chicago. And so it's the story of how that came to be and how it got to Broadway, and then all the actors and all their experiences, auditioning, being on the road, getting fired, getting hired, falling in love, backstage romance, all of that stuff. And we're releasing it. We just released it. The money, if there is any money, if people want to go out and buy it, we're donating to the Actors Fund. And we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the show.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
Tell me more. I want to tell all viewers, get that book. I know I'm fixing to order mine. It's in Grease. Now, when the movie came out later, were you interested in becoming connected with?
I didn't even know they were casting. I was doing Maude. I mean, listen, we were too old to be playing those characters when we were on Broadway in 1972. So by 1978, it never crossed my mind, you know.
Gotcha.
I would have loved to, looking back on it, but I
Yeah.
really wasn't even aware of it.
Adrienne, are you amazed at how even today, I mean, Grease has crossed 50 years. You know, the movie, if they put another play out on Broadway, people would go to see it. But even just the movie itself, I mean, every time, even if it comes on while you're flipping through, you gotta hang and watch it for a little bit. It's wild.
I know of 3 stage productions that are being done in the next 2 months here in Southern California. It's
wow.
It's done all over the world, and it continues to be.
And it's timeless.
Yeah. And as the first person really to play Rizzo, you had this book, There Are Worse Things I Could Do. Now, was this based off of Rizzo, or is this based off of Adrienne Barbeau?
No. This was this was based off of a message I got from my closest girlfriend who had died 5 or 6 years prior. I got a very strong message from her telling me that I needed to take a writing class. I had never written in my life except to keep a journal.
Okay.
But when I got this message, and there's a whole backstory to that, but when I got this thought that I was supposed to take a writing class, I started taking a writing class. And if you're going to take a writing class, you've got to write, you've got to bring in homework assignments. So I started writing stories about my life or my career or people I had dated that I thought I took for granted, but I thought maybe people hearing it for the first time would think they were funny or think they were interesting or whatever. And after about 6 months, the teacher said to me, you should get an agent because you've got a memoir here. And so I did. And so it is a series of stories about making Cannonball Run, which you mentioned, about going to Russia to make a very low budget movie with 50 rats, literally. I mean rats. I do mean rats, who had to swarm all over me for one scene. And the only way they could make the rats swarm over me was to take fish heads and squeeze the juice.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Oh, wow.
So, it's stories about the industry and about dating Burt Reynolds or being married to John Carpenter and making the movies. And when I put it all together, I didn't know what to call it. And my ex-husband, Billy Van Zandt, said, well, you got to call it There Are Worse Things I Could Do, because that's the song I sang in Grease.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That is
wow. Hey, listen, I got to tell you that, when I was a young teenager, there were 3 posters that were hanging on my wall.
Uh-oh.
There was, with all my posters, 3 in particular that I remember the most is we had Farrah Fawcett in that bathing suit,
red bikini.
Yes, hair back, smile, and Linda Carter in her Wonder Woman outfit, and Adrienne Barbeau in a white tank top. And
this one right here.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And so it's things like that just kind of that you remember milestones in your life. And that was right around the time I was just right before I was graduating high school and I was going into the military, and those are just the things that come back to mind when I think about that time. And I know that a lot of young men, were doing the same thing back in those days. So when did it finally dawn on you that, hey, you know what? And whatever your thought process was, but sex symbol or I'm garnering a lot of attention. When did that start dawning on you that, hey, this is really happening?
Well, it certainly wasn't anything I wanted, but I think when I first started doing Maude, and somebody and a friend called, and the show had just premiered, and I said, "Well, what did you think? Was I funny?" He says, who knows if you were funny? I was just watching you walk down the stairs, and I thought, oh, God, you know, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be known for my acting ability, you know. That sort of went along with it. And I never poo-pooed it or denied it, but it was not something that I ever intended to base my career on.
Yeah. But,
you know, was
Phil,
funny.
where were you stationed overseas when you went into the military?
I was in Korea for a while.
In what year?
1981.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went over much earlier and entertained the armed forces. It was my first professional job.
That's right.
Yes.
I was right on the DMZ, right up in.
Yeah. Yep. So was I. And I tell you what, I wish that I had been in when you were over there, because I would have loved to seen your show. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart as a veteran. Thank you so much for coming over there and doing what you did. I mean, because trust me, I wasn't there, but I know that it means a heck of a lot to those guys and girls that were serving. So thank you.
It was a life-changing experience for me too. It really was. It was, yeah.
Adrienne, I have to ask you about, we were talking about Cannonball Run, right? Because, you know, when this movie came out, I mean, look, you got Farrah in there and Roger Moore and Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin, and you got you down there, Jamie Farr down at the bottom, and of course, Burt Reynolds. When this movie came out, I remember, and you don't really see this that often anymore. When the credits ran on the movie, they show you all the outtakes, right? And I have to imagine that had to be probably the most fun you probably have had shooting any movie in your career.
In my memoir, the chapter on Cannonball Run starts with, wasn't that the greatest, most fun you've ever had making a movie?
Oh, really? Okay.
But unfortunately, if you read the memoir or if you look at the outtakes,
yeah,
you will see that for me, it was not.
Oh, really? Why? Did you have a hard time with your lines?
No. I wanted to make a good movie. I wanted to, I wanted to show up and act and do my character and all of that. And everybody around me was just sort of like, oh, it doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter what we do. The audience will love it. Let me slap you again. And I was a little too straight.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, listen to me. I just thought, the cast of characters and everybody.
No, I loved working.
Right?
I mean, to have an opportunity to work with Roger Moore. Oh my gosh, and I knew Dean and I knew Sammy. Dom DeLuise was just the absolute best. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a lovelier man. Everybody was great, but read the book.
Well, what I'm kind of reading, was there a lot of was there a lot of hitting on Adrienne Barbeau while she was on set? No. You were just more serious than they wanted to be.
I was more serious. I mean, I wanted to say the words that were on the page, It was like, now I love Dino. And he was such a delight that it really didn't matter. But I had to do a scene with him, and he wouldn't say anything that was written, and I would just stand there and think, "Am I supposed to talk now?" It was that kind of thing. But yeah, it wasn't quite as professional as I was trying to be. Let's put
all
it.
right.
Sounds like a real prig, doesn't she?
See, speaking of movies, I gotta mention one of my favorite movies of all time, Escape from New York. And I gotta tell you, you played a character, Maggie, probably my favorite character. And I mean, you were tough. You knew how to handle a gun. You had a knife in your boot, and there was a lot of action. And you were in shape. Did you guys? Was there any like a training boot camp or anything like that for that movie to get ready for that? Because you look well prepared.
Oh, thank you. They may have taught me how to handle the guns, although that wasn't, I don't know, I think maybe that was the first film I'd done where I don't know if Escape came before Swamp Thing or after Swamp Thing. I think it came before. So they probably taught me how to handle the guns. But no, there wasn't any physical training. I'd been a dancer on Broadway, and so I had always.
You're in shape, yeah.
I had kept in shape, and I think it was probably around the time that we did the Battle of the Network Stars, and
yes.
I was driving back from Malibu after the first day of work, and I couldn't get my foot off the gas pedal to get it onto the brake. That I thought, you know what, you need to get to a gym. This isn't going to happen anymore. just naturally. So I started. I was a big Gold's Gym rat for many, many, many years. I enjoyed working out with weights.
I love
Did
it.
Did you ever run into Schwarzenegger out there at Gold's Gym? Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, I was at the one in North Hollywood. I think he was probably in the Hollywood one. No, I never.
Okay, I got you.
And listen, Snake Plissken, one of the greatest characters of all time in the movies. The other one I wanted to ask you about was Swamp Thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just like kind of like this, iconic cult classic, right? Where it's just, it's just one of those. Did you think that Swamp Thing was going to be as big as it was when you were making it?
When I first read the script, I thought this could be really big. This could be, it's basically Beauty and the Beast. This could be wonderful. Unfortunately, the original script went through such devastation because the studio kept cutting the budget, and Wes had to throw out entire scenes and eliminate complete characters, and there was no money to pay for the makeup trailer, and there was no money to pay to make the car work. I mean, and it was just, so it was a really, really difficult shoot. And the fact that it became such an audience pleaser, when I first saw it, when I first saw it, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, how am I going to tell Wes? I don't think I can promote this, because
Okay.
I don't think I can tell people to go and pay. Probably in those days it was $5, to see it. And then he worked on it. He changed it. He did everything he could. And then Ebert and Siskel came out and said, this is a gem. And suddenly everybody found it. And listen, I went to a screening while we were filming Swamp Thing. They screened Indiana Jones, the first Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
They screened it for us on a Saturday. And I walked out thinking, well, I mean, I don't get it. So I'm not the person to ask. Really. I'm really not the person to ask.
Man, that's great. That's
That
great.
is wild.
You've got, oh my gosh, your career is so amazing. And I mean, film, TV, and singing. In fact, today I spent like 2 hours listening to your music on Apple Music, and your voices.
Adrienne, you didn't know you were singing here tonight, did you?
Oh no, God, nobody ever talks about that. Thank you.
Oh yes. Like I say, I listened to it for like 2 hours, and it just your voice is like an angel, and it's, yeah. I mean, given that, in your this awesome career, if Adrienne Barbeau were starting out today, or anybody who's starting out today, with your vast experience, what kind of advice would you give somebody starting out?
Well, two things. One's a little more obscure than the other. One is learn your craft. I mean, whether that means doing a little equity waiver play or somebody's college film class project, or learn your craft, whether it means studying or, and learn the professionalism of the craft. But that's not going to take you someplace or not take you someplace. The other thing I would say is learn yourself. Find out who you are. Find out your strengths, your weaknesses, whether that means therapy or church or meditation or whatever it is, the more you can really know yourself and understand yourself, well, certainly the more access you have to yourself as an instrument for acting, but the more you'll understand what it is that's holding you back, or what you're taking into an audition that you shouldn't be taking into. Somebody just insulted you and you bring that in, and you've got to learn to know yourself. I guess that's the only way I can say it. I'm not expressing it really well, but
right. No, it makes sense. Good advice.
Adrienne, as a young actress, when you started on Maude and you're working around, women like these, and just the amazing actors and actresses that were on this show, was that something that was intimidating to you at all when you first started out, before you became really part of this, a solid part of this ensemble?
If anyone besides Norman Lear had been the producer of that show, or if that show were starting out right now, I would have been fired within the first week. I was so nervous. I was so intimidated, I guess would be the word. I don't know if I remember it as being intimidated, but I was just nervous. They were all older than I was. They had all more experience than I was. I thought they were all more talented than I was. I didn't understand the medium at all. I had been on Broadway. I was great on Broadway. I mean, I was nominated for a Tony. I knew how to do that, do musicals. I got to television, and, it took me a couple of weeks and this is sort of goes back to what I was saying about get to know, get into therapy or whatever. It took me a couple of weeks, and it was actually one of those musicals that we did where suddenly I was in my own milieu and I started to relax. And throughout that whole time, Norman would call me in and say, look, if you don't trust yourself, trust me. I know you're good. I know you can do this. You just got to get out of your way. But it took me a while.
Wow. But then the show went on to be just, insanely popular, right?
Yeah.
And B. Arthur, forget it. It was, doesn't get better than, what was the thing she used to say?
God will get you for that.
Right. What was the husband's name? Arthur. Was Walter. God will get you for that, Walter. I used to love, right? Instead of, I'd love to knock your lights out, Walter. God will get you for that, Walter. Oh, that's so great. That's so great.
Awesome.
Well, listen, let me go back to the book for a second, because the book is called Grease, Tell Me More, Tell Me More. And it's stories from the Broadway phenomenon that started it all. Adrienne Barbeau was there. She was right there in the middle of it all. Adrienne, when you guys were kids doing that show, were there any romances happening in the backstage area? Anybody, kind of hooking it up, or no?
Well, one of the stories that I wrote, the fellow that played Kaniki, Timothy Myers.
Okay.
He was a great actor. He was such a great actor that when the William Morris Agency called him in to interview him because they wanted to sign him, the agent insisted on keeping his office door open because he thought Timmy was really a juvenile delinquent and he was afraid of him. So that tells you how good Tim was. He was also adorable. He was really charming. And we had a scene on the park bench where, were on top of each other. I can't remember who was on top of who, but we were making out. And over a period of a couple of days rehearsal, I started to think, oh, gee, maybe
I like this.
this is nice. And it seems like it's nice for him too. So maybe this is going to go somewhere. And then I drove him home one night and met his boyfriend. And
it was over.
So that was the end of it for my romances.
Wow.
There were other romances. Some of them I think are talked about. Oh, definitely some of them are talked about in the book. But I'm not going to say. I'll let the reader find those.
I love it. Philly, did you have this album, Phil, when Grease first came out?
Of course. And you know, when Scotty he sent me a message, says, "Hey, can you get on with me and interview Adrienne Barbeau? Can you co-host?" I'm like, can I? and I said, man, please get me on there. I want to meet her because, like I say, again, milestones in my life. From, you know, if you would have told me in the 1970 whatever, you know, one of my favorite actresses who my, you know, poster is on my wall, that I would get to talk to her and interview her or have any contact in any way, I would have said, no, you're crazy. That's never going to happen. But he told me that, and immediately that album that you just showed, this song came to mind, even though I don't think this song was on the original play.
Light it up, Philly kid. Light it up, baby.
But it was on the movie. And I just want to do a very, very short tribute to you with this song. We take the pressure and we throw away. Conventionality belongs to yesterday. There is a chance that we can make it so far. We start believing now that we can be who we are. Grease is the word.
Nice.
We love you, Adrienne.
We
love you.
Adrienne, you know what I was a little upset about in the movie? They left off Freddie My Love in the movie.
I've never seen the movie, Scott.
Whoa. Back it up. You've never seen Grease?
No, in fact, I was just going to say to Phil, I've never heard those lyrics so clearly and so beautifully sung.
Yeah, Frankie Valli.
Frankie Valli. No.
Wait a second. I can't believe you've never seen Grease with Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, Adrienne?
I saw Grease too.
Oh.
Michelle Pfeiffer, and I thought she was beautiful and very good. But no, I've never seen it.
You got to go watch it.
I don't want to see it.
What are you doing? You got to do it.
No, I don't want to. I have such great memories of the show that we did, and I know that it bears very little resemblance to the movie. That I just thought, no, you know what? I'm just going to stay with my own memories.
All right. Well, in that case, because I'm shocked. I almost fell off my seat. Can you give us like 30 seconds of There Are Worse Things I Could Do?
There are worse things I could do than go with a boy or two, even though the neighborhood thinks I'm trashy and no good. I suppose it could be true, but there's worse things I could do. Is that enough?
I was just getting into it.
Oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps.
I could flirt with all the guys, smile at them and bat my eyes.
And one of the stories in the book is about how that song, when we started in previews, had to be cut. It wasn't working. It just died. It just died. Nobody was applauding. And the woman who was with the company, the Edwin Morris Company, the publishing, they were there, they published all of the sheet music. She came to see the show and she turned to the our producer, and she said, "There's nothing wrong with the song. It's the scene before it. you have no sympathy for Rizzo. The way the scene had been originally written,
okay.
The way it had been originally written, I guess she finds out she's pregnant and she just, they all blow her off and everything. So they rewrote that scene that night, and the next night, standing ovation or whatever, but the song almost didn't get in.
All right, so I just need to reconfirm. You've never seen Stockard Channing singing Worst Things I Could Do?
No.
Wow. That's some. Listen, you, me, and Phil, we're coming to your house next week.
No.
We're gonna sit on the couch. We're gonna watch Grease. I love it, Adrienne. It's such a prolific career. It's almost like Eric Roberts has been on with us a few times, and Eric, he's doing like 8 movies a year. They're shooting them on iPhones. He's got like 600 credits. And we ask him the question was there one, taking out Grease, the Broadway show? Mm-hmm. Was there which one of your movies, and don't tell me they're all my babies, I love them all. No, which do you have a favorite where if I said to you, Adrienne, you could show me one movie to encapsulate your career, which is the one that you would show? Does it
have to be a movie?
No, movie, TV, whatever it is.
I love the role I played in Carnival, the snake dancer. I really love that. I do love The Fog, and I love Billy in Creepshow, and I love Maggie in Escape. I've been working throughout all of this, and have a couple more that are going to be coming out. But Ruthie in Carnival, well, the whole series just had a really. It was a great job. I just loved doing it.
Amazing.
And I loved Ruthie and Carnival. I had a great time you showed a picture right in the beginning of me posing in a sort of a circus costume.
Yes.
I played Pippin's grandmother, who sings her song hanging upside down from a trapeze, 15 feet in the air with no net, doing a whole trapeze routine. And that was great fun. I got to travel the country. But of the movies, well, it'd have to be 3. It'd have to be Billy, because she's such a great character in Creepshow.
Love Creepshow. I want my cake. Give me my cake.
And I really love The Fog and Escape. Those 3 really.
Escape from New York. Boy, the Creepshow was the one where Ted Danson was buried up to his neck, right in the sand. That was great, because I think that was like one of those drive-in double feature deals. You'd go sit in the drive-in, right? Just fantastic. Listen, if I had to guess which movie you were going to pick, I thought it would be Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death was the only film that got dispensation from the Writers Guild to shoot during the Writers Guild strike. And so when they offered it to me, I said, yeah, let's work. Nobody else is working. Let's work.
Hey, man, work is work.
We shot 17 pages in one day. I was doing scenes where I was having a sword fight with somebody and there was no actor on the other end.
Bill Maher and Shannon Tweed.
It was a witty script. I thought it was a witty script, and
phenomenal.
and I had a good time working with Shannon Tweed.
Oh my goodness!
And I gotta say this before we leave. But you are still as beautiful as you have ever been. Your voice is still that of an angel's.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh my gosh.
I was just getting into it with the worst thing I could do. Tell me more. Did you get very far? Adrienne, listen, just an absolute pleasure to have you on. Everybody, you got to go out and if you're a Grease fan, this is a must-have. Tell me more. And it's stories from the Broadway phenomenon that started it all. Adrienne was there. There she is, right there, laying across the top of Grease Lightning. And I can't wait to get my hands on that one this summer while my kids are away. And it's really, Adrienne, thank you so much. One last thing I want to ask you before you go.
Yes.
was, tell us about these two fellas.
Oh my gosh, the loves of my life with their older son Cody. They're a little older than this now. This was
I know.
when Argo was screening. In what year did we win? I don't remember when we won, but okay. On the left, on the viewer's left, is William Van Zandt, who is a Platinum Award-winning music producer, who's tomorrow when Elvis screens or when Elvis opens, we're going to find out he produced one of the songs on the Elvis soundtrack, and we're waiting to hear if it's going to be in the movie. That's William. His brother on the other side, Walker Van Zandt, has an incredibly successful product design and merchandise company of his own. He is designing for major rock stars, all their merchandise. You know, when you go to the concerts and you buy the sweatshirt or the hoodie or whatever, and he has his own line of designs on his website. Mine Without Morning. It is Mine Until Morning, MUM. And those are the twins. And then my older boy, Cody Carpenter, is right now finishing up scoring with his dad, John, the latest Halloween movie. It'll be out.
Another one coming out, huh?
Yeah. They just scored Firestarter. Right. And won some awards for that. And now they're working on the music for the next Halloween. That's
Michael Myers. They just can't get rid of him.
I don't know if it's happening in this one or not. I don't know. The music's going to be great.
You got to be so proud of those young men, because that is awesome.
They're my life. I'm incredibly proud of them.
Yeah. Adrienne, listen, thank you so much for spending a little time. I know you're busy. You're doing all these podcasts and promoting the book, but thank you so much. And again, everybody got Adrienne. I guess anywhere books are sold, right? Amazon,
yes,
and anywhere you can get
anywhere books are sold, but definitely Amazon, Barnes and Noble, you name it, it's there.
Beautiful, Adrienne. Have a great summer. Just an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. I love your singing. I love
Thank you. Love meeting you. Love meeting you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Adrienne. Thank you. Bye-bye. Philly, how great is she? Huh?
Oh my gosh. Another one of my heroes for life.
Yes.
I finally got to meet. Wow.
Fantastic. Listen, I'm introducing you to a lot of people here on this show, Phil.
Yeah, I know.
I need to start accepting some payment, for God's sake. So fun. I love when you say, like, you know what I love? When you sang for Dennis DeYoung. And I don't remember what it was. It was a Styx song. Was it Babe, I'm Leaving?
Babe, I'm Leaving. Yeah. Yeah.
That was great. Well, listen, I got a couple of your tunes lined up, so you don't have to sing live, because I know I don't want to make you sing since we just did a full show. But listen, we got a lot of stuff coming up next week. We got guests galore all throughout the summer, and the show just continues to roll. And just to remind everybody that we are on all of these platforms right here. And that's a whole big network of places that we're airing right now. And again, we just started on a station in Norfolk, Virginia, CW. And we just keep rolling along, my friend. The news just continues to grow. And we'll keep doing the shows right here until things change and we're in the back in that studio doing it up. So Philly Kid, I got a couple songs. I don't remember which ones I took. I'm going to give you a little concert right now because I know that's all. Did you want to sing anything live right now or no?
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Here's a couple of your tunes that I grabbed off of your site. Sweet. And we got a little, I got about 8 minutes worth of Philly Kid in concert. So I'll talk to you later, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the main man. Here he is, Adrienne Barbeau. Thank you so much. An absolute legend. Here's Philly Kid with the rest.
He was born on a summer day, 1951. And with the slap of her hand, he had landed as an only son. His mother and father said, what a lovely boy. We'll teach him what we learned. Oh yeah, just what we learned. We'll dress him up warmly, then we'll send him to school. We'll teach him how to fight to be nobody's fool. Oh, oh, what a lonely boy. Oh, what a lonely boy. Oh, what a lonely boy. In the summer of 53, his mother gave him a sister. And she told him, we must attend to her needs. She's so much younger than you. Well, he ran down the hall and he cried. Oh, how could his parents have lied when they said he was the only son? He thought he was the only one. Oh, oh, what a lonely boy. Oh, what a lonely boy. Oh, what a lonely boy. Goodbye, mama. Goodbye to you. Goodbye, papa. I'm pushing on through. He left home on a winter day, 1969. And he hoped to find all the love he had lost in that happier time. Well, his sister grew up, she married a man, he gave her a son, oh yes, a lovely son. They dressed him up warmly, then they sent him to school. They taught him how to fight to be nobody's fool. Oh, oh, what a lonely boy. Oh, what a lonely boy. Oh, what a lonely boy. Whoa, 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 what a lonely boy. Whoa, what a lonely boy. Oh, what a lonely boy. Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and doing the best I can. And when it's time for leaving, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. Well, my father was a gambler down in Georgia. He wound up on the wrong end of a gun. And I was born in the backseat of a Greyhound bus, rolling down Highway 41. Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and doing the best I can. And when it's time for leaving, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. I'm on my way to New Orleans this morning, leaving out of Nashville, Tennessee. They're always having a good time down on the bayou, Lord. Them Delta women think the world of me. Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and doing the best I can. And when it's time for leaving, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. Lord, 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 I was born a rambling man, yeah. Used to spend my nights out in a bar room, liquor was the only love I've ever known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottle and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, baby. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, baby. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. I've looked for love in all the same old places, found the bottom of a bottle always dry. But when you poured out your heart, you know I didn't waste it, baby. 'Cause there's nothing like your love to get me high, yeah. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, baby. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, pretty baby. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. Smooth as Tennessee whiskey. whiskey, baby. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, baby. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. You're as smooth as a Tennessee whiskey, baby. Oh, Tennessee whiskey, baby. Oh, Tennessee whiskey. You're as smooth, oh, as Tennessee whiskey, baby. Tennessee whiskey. Oh, Tennessee whiskey.